there's so many different angles to come at why the couple is having such a problem. And this is a gross oversimplification again. In this case, the ASD husband is very logical and very task-oriented. Not that he doesn't have any social skills or emotional intelligence. I'm not saying that. She is almost the opposite. Instead of being directed towards completing tasks that have nothing to do with people, she's very social, and that's a big deal to her. Not that she can't just do mundane tasks that don't involve people, but that's not her preference. That is his preference. I'm not saying she doesn't have any logic, but she runs mostly on emotional intelligence. So you have the ASD husband runs mostly on logical intelligence, LQ we would call it. She runs mostly on social and emotional intelligence, which would be SQ and EQ. He's mostly involved in non-social tasks. She's mostly involved in social tasks. So you can see why there's so much upset. They're almost 100% diametrically opposed with respect to their skills, needs, wants, levels of intelligence, and whatnot. So that's the bad news. The good news is, as long as both parties are aware of what's going on, well, now there can be some kind of compromise. And there'll have to be a compromise. She's not going to come all the way over to his side, and he's not going to come all the way over to her side. Never going to happen. But there can be, and would be a fairly large middle ground, gray area, where he is purposely trying to be less task-oriented and asocial some of the time. And she's purposely trying to be less emotional and a little more, less need for deep intimacy, which he can't deliver. Her complaint is, he doesn't meet my social needs. He doesn't have a deep emotional connection with me. Yeah, you're right. Because he has ASD. That is ASD. That's not a symptom of ASD. That is ASD. Think of it as a disorder of social and emotional intelligence, which now means a disorder of social and emotional skills, and now means a lower need for social stuff and emotional connection. That's why the disparity, and the reason I wanted to mention that is because it would be good if the two of you could provide one another occasionally with a little grace and mercy, given the cards you've been dealt. That's what you've lived with. That's what you're living with now. And that thing I just described there, it's never going to change, ever. Continue to antagonize one another or realize, okay, this is what we're going to have to deal with. There's no way to fix it. I'm wired this way, he's wired that way. We're just going to have to deal with it. Or just agree to move on to the next relationship, which that happens too.